Shit. When the riding becomes better, the horses go better. The major said it much better. He said, the horses go as they are ridden. But very few people believe this. Very few people understand that it is their own body that is fucking things up. It's not your mental state. You know, there are some real bad types that ride horses well. I mean, look at history. Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan. There are the moral and political bent of a person does not matter. It matters about the tissue of the tissue and the nervous system and the arrangement of the skeleton, because this is the influence onto the horse. And like, you don't, pro athletes will tell, I'm a pro athlete. Most of you are pro athletes, actually. So few of you watch this. You don't improve the way that the instrument of the body functions by trying to be a better person. And you know, it's like, I don't like the word intentional or mindful. Look where you're going. Ride to a target. It's not like my intention. It's we're going there. It needs to be all of this pretentious bullshit needs to go. These are horses. They are not stupid. I think that they identify the pretentious bullshit and blow it off. They're smart enough to respond to clear, plain commands. I want to go there. My target's a mile yonder and a mile up in the sky. Okay, I'll go there straight forward uphill. That's what they do. When you look where you go, you ride to a target. You don't have an intention. I don't have an intention. I'm going somewhere. Those are not the same thing. And I'm sorry if I sound strident. I am sick to death of the pretentious bullshit. I am sick of. Carl Cook thinks he discovered Los Galacinite. He doesn't understand that Marcus Enning is writing from the first 30 pages of the Vorendorf beginner book. He thinks that it's some genius he's observed. I mean, Enning is a genius. But Carl Cook is just, you guys all know more than he does about position, because you read the instructions 2 winters in a row and made comparative analysis. And many of you have gone through the instructions from Sommer, Vorendorf, and Vienna on one body part alone. You are experts. And I don't know, maybe this leads to what's going to happen next year. You can conduct yourself as an expert on position if you've done my winter position assignment 2 years in a row and done 108. You are more expert than 99.9% of professionals and amateurs in America and probably in the world. You really are. Go with it, learn it, but also conform to it. Because here's the thing. See, I'm unassailable because my riding was confirmed. I was trained to death. I don't remember doing it wrong. I've been picked on so much. My shoulders don't lift. My elbow doesn't go out. I have a straight line elbow to bit. I would be terrified to move my hand away from the wither more than a centimeter, and certainly not above it. My leg, it's if I can't feel his elbow, I'm scared that I have been trained. Like, it's like the wrong thing has been burned off of me. And this is what I want for you guys, because here's the thing. If you do take a stand and make a statement like straight line elbow to bit, it's a thing. You better not make a mistake. Now, I'm going to lighten the tone a little bit, because here's the thing about this is what's so wonderful about it. These are simple instructions. All of you are great athletes. You can all do them. You just have to apply your mind. Don't be intentional, but you just have to just discipline yourself. I'm going to start over. I'm starting loose. Got a line I'm going on. Everything, my upper body, everything's dropping down, so it's very secured over my base of support. My horse can feel it. Yeah, he for sure feels it. Let's go. Now I shorten my reins. On Friday the 27th, oh my God, I don't know. On Friday the 27th, make a note, there is a 15-minute video really showing a rider starting loose and riding forward to the bit. Now, what I was going to get back to a moment ago, that straight line elbow to bit, it really is a thing, and you really must prove it. And it's not just sometimes, it's every step you ride. Now, here's why. In 2025, I am going to be finishing, I actually have it all written out. I just have to do the video things of it. And many of you are, I'm spoon feeding it. It's all going on in your training already. Throughness, contact, to the bit, on the bit, whatever you want to call it. Guess what finishes that? Straight line elbow to bit. That's my little keyhole I ride. That's my little eye of the needle I ride through. That's all where it's going. Out his little loose mouth. Oh, I fell on my bit. Oh, my bit's going forward. I'll go forward. Oh, I feel it this way. Oh, I feel it this. Well, okay. Well. Straight line elbow to bit. My hand, the hand that educated the mouth in the stable before you started riding the horses, when you were teaching them their little, this is this thing, and this is this thing, and this is go. Okay. The way that my hand, oh, remember to be loose in your jaw. Okay. So this is my hand holding the reins, but I'm just right here at the mouth playing with the rings of the snaffle. So just attach some strips of leather so I can do the same thing when I'm up there with my hands the width of the bit at the withers, so I maintain a straight line elbow to bit, which you must establish the straight line elbow to bit, heavy elbow, that's the heaviest part of the arm. That gets established first, then your hand will naturally be at the wither. Or in your lap. Because if you're small and the horse is big, it's okay if your hands seem too close in your lap. It's perfectly fine. His neck is 6 feet long. You're tiny, fine. That's why we have reins, and that's why we sometimes need extra long reins. You then, from there, the horse can then feel your weight dropping down your plumb line that's all loose, so you feel extra heavy. He's starting to engage his hindquarters. Yay! Now you're going forward. Then your hands there, just as they would if they were right as a little mouth, just start shortening the reins. Okay, my rein is flat. It's a spider web. I'm not going to over shorten it. Okay, it's flat enough so that I can do this to him on this side, and I can do this to him on this side. My thumb is up. That means the bones of my forearm are also along the straight line elbow to bit and not like rolling over in some grotesque hook. I say stuff like that to scare you guys. Okay, I kind of feel like that's good. I had a couple notes I better check. Okay, I am going to, you guys have heard it before, but there's a podcast of Gymnasium Read Aloud that talks about the hand, and I'm going to put that link in the description. Everything that I say on office hours, you guys are responsible for. I might ask you at any moment, so make sure you pay attention to stuff I say and probably take notes and maybe watch things twice. The videos that come on every Friday at 7 a.m., You guys are all responsible for every second in those videos. I might ask you a question about it. And I recommend not taking notes. I recommend watching them a couple times. What are they about? What's the context? What was the horse? How trained was the horse? What happened? What was said? What got done? Blah, 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 blah. You got to know. This is a virtual training barn. We're in training. You're going to be seeing things. I'm thinking next year I might have office hour, plus I might just come on live more often, because in a way it's easier. I don't know how to do this. This has never been done, what I'm doing. I do want the media that is more like magazine media, like Piper Clem, for example. I'm going to be speaking to Piper. There is a chance to get things right on a mass scale. But publishing compromised content because the little people like it more, it doesn't help. It doesn't work. It won't work. It will eventually fail. Okay, so podcast for the audio gymnasium. It's not very long, I don't think, but you're responsible for it. There will be a link in the description by the end of tonight. I want to mention one other thing that you've read before, and I think it could be a stumbling block if it's not explained. When the dead men teach us about a fixed hand position and use that term fixed, they're not talking about a tight hand. They're talking about a hand in a fixed location, that the hand doesn't move. We don't move the hand to shorten the reins, remind the horse to stay loose in the mouth, in the lower jaw, or to indicate an occasional direction. Our hand does not move. It is fixed in its location, which is upon the straight line, elbow to bit. Elbow is the heaviest part of the arm. The hand is along that straight line, and that is usually right at the withers, or even a little closer to the rider than at the withers. The hands will seem to lift if a horse, okay, starting off level. So here's the hind end. So this loads, this loads, this loads. He's starting to go. And my reins are also going to shorten. So it may seem to an uninformed horse person that the reins are very short and the hands are lifted. But that is not what happened. We ride the horses forward. We maintain the contact as they engage more and more. The top is lengthening, but the hindquarters angles are lowering. So there's like a shorter line from the stifle to the mouth. So the rein shortens. And the hand will seem higher because the neck is higher, but it isn't really. Okay. I don't know if I digress. I'm talking about the idea of a fixed hand. I don't move my fucking hand around to get a horse on the bit, okay? I don't. And I don't think I can stand seeing it anymore. I don't think I can take it. The hand is fixed. The hand is fixed in front of the rider. If the horse is a little smaller, the rider has a little longer bones. This can also be at the withers, on either side of the withers, but anywhere in that range is good. Right now on my Facebook, go and watch it. There is video of Sonka Rottenberger, his first, at the Louisdor Prix 2022, the first few tests with Fendi. Look at his hands. That's where your hands can be. No more hands in the air. No more shoulders coming up to the ears. No more. You guys are actually the best riders in the nation right now as a group. No position faults in 2025. Now, why? Why am I just cracking down on this? Because the topic that's coming up is throughness. January 8th, it's some other thing. I can't remember what I said we were going to do. It's like forward and straight or something. But the topic of throughness and contact, there's going to be a new class on it. But guess what? If you guys have a correct position, and especially this last piece, everyone's seat and leg is way great. But now this last piece, really getting the weight of my ear dropping down my shoulder, and my elbow's the heaviest part of my arm. My hands are in the withers along the straight line, elbow to bit. Guess what? Your horses are going to be through. You ride them forward in that direction through that little eye of the needle of your correct position, and your horses will be through. I don't think I can name an American horse right now that is through. In June, I would like to make a video of 20 of you guys with through horses. There's also a little bit of throughness that's a little bit at the very base of the neck, right in front of the withers. And guess what? Your hand's there. You can get him a little, like, the other thing that helps with that is uniting the forehand with the bearing ring. Anyway, look, none of you ride with me because you want to be all like happy or shit. You all ride with me because you really love it and you want to know. I know you all want to know. So you guys are going to ride like you know, because you do. You do. Merry Christmas. Oh, I have one more thing. So anyway, fixed hand is referencing location. Location. Fixed means it's in its place. It doesn't go wandering. No more wandering. No more Stevie Wonder hands. No. There is a piece of metal in his mouth attached to these limbs, and no more. No. No more. I might come on live one more time before Christmas. I haven't decided. I don't know if I have time or energy for it. If I don't, I'm going to send it out. And it is my normal, it is the same Christmas message. I think I wrote it in 2019. I gave it to Chat GPT to see if he could make it like a little more broad audience, but it made me sound bad. It made me sound not like me. So I'm going to stick with the one I already wrote that sounds like me. It's about my choir teacher, Mrs. Forbes, who, and I had choir every day. It wasn't like, once in a while. It was really serious. I went to National Cathedral School, you can imagine. And she was so scary. She was my music teacher, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh grade. I only saw her smile once. And when she smiled, it actually terrified me. We had to sing it was on NPR. It was like this huge deal. It took like from the first day of school in the autumn, like I think we practiced for the year before, and we were already pretty trained in choir. Like we really were good little choir kids, and we had orchestra class, and we knew all this stuff. We could read music. It was Mahler's 8th Symphony, which is in German and Latin. So then there was this whole pronunciation issue. And apparently when it is sung, for the sound to be correct, it has to be excelsis, was repeated over and over. It's Mahler's Eighth Symphony. You can read what it's about. Google it. 1,000 people. Okay. Eggs, shells, Gloria in excelsis Deo. It is eggs, shells, cease. It's not eggs, shell, cease. It's eggs, shells, cease. And that is how the riding becomes. And here's the thing about horses. People, all these little do-gooders online who want to be popular and who are popular, they don't understand horses. Horses love shit like eggs, shells, cease. They're like, oh, well, when you explain it that clearly, of course, I'll just do it like that. They love it. They love things to be specific and consistent. And you can get into great detail with them and they'll just eat it up. They don't go, oh no, that's too picky, Jane. They don't. They go, well, why didn't you say so? We just have to stop riding like we are. We just have to get very clear and soft. Eggs, shells, cease. Seat, leg, hand. My seat is doing this. You feel the weight. My leg says, oh, you go, okay. And I'm just shortening my rein. So it's matching the engagement from, you see, it's just seat, leg, hand. And you've been teaching them the aids. It's just it's a language. And it's in my little essay about Mrs. Forbes. But the thing that's important that I want you guys to be hard on yourselves, which you are, but I also want you to treat yourselves like you're a horse. You wouldn't like clobber a horse for making a mistake. Every year when I get my little holiday playlist going, I should have had it on. That would have been nice. Every year when Hark the Herald Angels sing and the excelsis part, I have to retrain my mouth. I have to retrain it. It can't do the eggs, shells, cease. Even though my mouth learned that as a child, like you think that would be sort of permanent, like a second nature thing. And it was such a big event. And no, every year I got to warm up. I have to tell myself it's eggs, shells, cease. It isn't just, I can't just rely on it. And that for me is a really good parable of why we ride daily, why daily training, and why I've gone to great lengths and expense to myself that you guys are training more in a manner of full training than these hour lessons from the pit of hell that do jack shit, if not worse. Daily. Every day we might have to go, oh yes, remember it's eggshell cease. Oh, I flubbed it up. It's eggshells. It's just every day. And then, maybe the baby horse is just going, oh, and he's galloping around. And yes, we're going, good boy. But then there does come a time and then we go, but you say, my darling, now that you're going to be a big boy, we say eggshells cease. And he goes, And then he kind of flubs it up. And then the horses get it on the third try. It's us that take a long time. Be specific, be soft, and be specific. Though that's my Christmas wish for all of you.